G'day guys. Android for the R36S is finally here. There's currently only builds for Panel 4 devices, so it should work on pretty much all R36H handhelds. It is a little bit more complex than simply copying over different DTB files. I believe the developers mentioned having to extract the DTB and rebuilding it for Android, but they have said versions for different panel types are on their way. There's also currently no builds for the R36S clones, but the devs have also mentioned that they might try and get it working on clones in the future. Let's get into it. We're over on our Windows 11 PC now. We've just gone to the Lineage OS 18.1 download page. I will link it down in the description below. We're just going to scroll down a little bit. And we want to download the zip file under Assets. You can just simply left click on it to start the download. We'll also need something to write the image to our SD card. And for that, I always like to use Rufus. Just want to scroll down. And we'll download the portable version, which at the time of filming is Rufus 4.9p. Just again, click on it once to download. Once they've both finished downloading, we can close off Chrome and open up our Downloads folder. Inside, we should have Rufus as well as our Lineage OS zip file. We just want to right click on the zip file and extract it. It is a standard zip file, so you don't need to use any special compression programs. The one built into Windows is good enough. You can simply right click on it and go to extract all, but I like to use 7-zip. So let's go down to more options, 7-zip, and extract to. Once it's finished extracting, we'll just open up the folder to make sure it's in there, and it is. It is a roughly 3.15 gig image file. With that extracted, we're just going to insert the SD card we'll be writing the image to into our computer. I'll just be using a spare 64 gig Samsung Evo SD I had laying around, but just be aware you will lose everything on the SD when writing the image. So make sure it's either empty or you've backed everything up. If your computer doesn't have a built-in SD reader, you can just use a cheap USB one. With our SD card inserted, I'm going to go back to our downloads and run Rufus. You can simply double click on it. Click No for updates. Under device, make sure your SD card is selected. For me, it wasn't out of the box since I do also have a flash drive connected. Just gonna click on it, and mine is a 64 gig SD card, so it's E drive for me. It is super important you select the correct device, just so you don't format the wrong one. Under boot selection, leave it as disk image or ISO, and click select. We want to open up our Lineage folder that we extracted, and we want to double click on our disk image file. Once you've triple checked you have the correct device selected, we can click start. It will warn you you'll lose all data on the drive. Click OK. If you have multiple partitions like I do, you'll get this pop up. Again, click OK. And it should start writing the image. Once it's finished writing, we can just click close. So that's pretty much it. We are ready to put the SD card into our R36S. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at disk management. So it's shown up as disk 2 for me. You can see we've got the standard 512 meg boot partition that we usually get on pretty much every other OS for the R36S. We then have a 2.2 gig Linux partition, and the rest of our SD card is unallocated. Let's take a look at the boot drive now. Everything looks pretty standard, except there is a GApps folder. If we open that up, there's a text file inside. We'll see what that says. It says to download a very specific version of Mine the GApps and extract it into this folder. If you skip this step, you won't have access to the Google Play Store. I've already downloaded this file. All I did was copy and paste the file name into Google. There was an archive.org link full of different versions, and I just used Control F to find this very specific version. I've already downloaded it and extracted it. You can see it here. Inside, there's 2 folders and a file. We want to copy all 3 of them over. It's Control A, Control C. Go back to our boot partition on our SD card, open up the GApps folder, and we'll just paste it in here. If you do want to use Google Apps, this needs to be done before you put the SD card into the R36S for the first time. And once Android has already completed its initial boot setup on the handheld itself, you won't have the option to install Google Apps this way. So with all that copied, we can safely eject our SD card and we'll pop it back into our R36S and go through its initial boot setup. Just inserting the SD card we created into the right-hand side slot on our R36S, and we'll power it on. Straight away, we get the Lineage logo, which is a good sign. Powered by Android. It says resizing in progress. This doesn't take too long, around 5 or 10 seconds. And now it says installing Google Apps. If you didn't download and copy over the Mine the GApps files earlier, you obviously won't see this screen. There we go, it says resized. It should auto reboot in a second, and it looks like it has. There's our logo once more. We do have a black screen. We've got our loading screen now, that's a good sign. And it's finished booting. When you get to this screen with the small battery logo at the top right, it has finished. It looks like it's not doing anything, but that is just because the screen resolution on the R36S is actually quite low. We do have to scroll the screen to see the rest of the front page. So let's use the D-pad, press down, and you can see it wants us to go through the initial setup. We're just going to highlight start. It's pretty hard to see the highlighted box, But if you highlight the accessibility settings down below, just press up once. It should be on start. Just press A. This one here, press down, select your language, press A. For date and time, we'll leave it all as standard. So press down, 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 press A. You can obviously set the time and date if you want to. There's no built-in Wi-Fi, so we'll go down to skip. I'll turn off location services, so just highlight it, press A, go down to next. I'll turn off the diagnostic data and go down to next. I don't want to lock screen code, so let's go to skip. Don't want to restore anything, again, go to skip. And finally, press A to start. Give it a second before you press anything. It's loading our launcher, Daijo Show I think it's called. I've never heard of this before, but when I looked it up online, it does seem to be pretty popular on Android-based handhelds. So this is our home screen. By default, use the D-pad or L and R to change tabs. Up, down, left, right, obviously. A to select, B to go back. We'll start with library. You can have platforms, we'll skip that. Go across to widgets. We've just got a time widget. Again, we'll skip that. Here's all of our apps. If you go to the top and highlight all apps, press A, it shows only games. So if you open up your app tray and it's empty, it's most likely because you have accidentally selected only games. Press on it again to go back to all apps. Pressing R once more brings up the launcher settings. We'll go back to apps. We'll go down to settings, press A. I've zoomed in on the screen to make it a bit easier to see. Hopefully it's clearer. So by default, when you press the D-pad, it doesn't actually highlight anything. Instead, it scrolls it. What you can do is you can press R3, which is the right joystick in, and it toggles mouse mode. The D-pad now moves the mouse cursor. R1 acts as a left click. The left joystick does still scroll. So you can scroll to where you want to go. We'll go down to system, use our mouse cursor, press R, there we go. Scroll again. In this menu, the left joystick actually selects different items. That's pretty good. We are on Android 11. We don't want anything under system. We'll press B to go back, and we'll go down to about tablet instead. There we go, Android 11, select that. We should be able to click on it a whole bunch to bring up the little Easter egg. And here's the Easter egg. I think it's turn it up to 11 is the thing here. So we can, there we go, sort of scroll it up. It's pretty tricky. Once again, the function button, or FN, is mapped to the home button on Android. So that's pretty handy. Press that and it takes you back to the launcher. We'll disable mouse by pressing R3 in. So it goes back to D-pad mode. Open up settings once more. I want to go up to apps and notifications, re-enable mouse mode, whoops. Go to apps and notifications. Scroll down using the left joystick. Go down to default apps, click on home app, and you can see there's no other launchers installed. It is just Daijo Show. I don't mind this personally, but if you're not a fan of it, you should just be able to download and install whatever custom launcher you like. Just press home to get out of it. I think to start off, we'll try and get internet working. We'll start with a cheap little USB wireless adapter. This does work on ArcOS. And we'll obviously need to use our passive USB-A to USB-C adapter. Plug it into the OTG port. Oops, pressed L and R a bit too much. You can see I have accidentally selected only games. That's fine. There we go, back to all apps. We'll go down to settings. We'll ignore the little pop-up for now. Instead, we'll go down to network and internet. Looks like I do have to click on the pop-up to get rid of it. We want to turn Wi-Fi on. Hopefully it detects our device. Still says off. Not a good sign. Didn't enable it. Turn it on. Usually this happens if it doesn't detect a valid wireless device. So it looks like it might not be compatible. So that's not working. I think we'll try a different USB wireless adapter. So I've connected this MT7601 based wireless adapter. I have made a full video on this before. It still didn't work. So what I've done is I've reset the R36S with the wireless adapter connected, just in case it needs to boot with it. So now we've done that. It's just finished resetting. Go back to settings, go back to Wi-Fi. Hopefully it lets us turn it on. Doesn't look like it did. Nah. So these two wireless adapters don't work. I do have one more we can try. I'll go grab that now. The last one I've got is this TP-Link one. So we'll remove the old wireless adapter, give it a second, and we'll try re-enable Wi-Fi. We'll go back, and no. So none of my wireless adapters work. That is a bit unfortunate. What about USB tethering from a different Android device? When I plugged my Android phone in, it did automatically open up the Files app on the R36S, so that's interesting. On my Android phone, it's opened up Hotspot and Tethering, and we'll try and enable USB tethering. So it did enable it. Let's see if it shows up in network settings. You can see at the very top it does have the network logo, so it looks like we are connected, even though it doesn't show up under here. I've just gone back to the launcher, and you can see at the top our wireless logo looks a lot better. It did have a line through it previously. So to test it, we'll go to browser. It'd be Chrome or Chromium. So that looks good. It actually loaded the Google homepage. We don't want Gemini. Go not now. Whoops. It looks like it crashed. We'll try load it again. Trending searches did load, so it looks like we do have internet. We'll click on one of them, Qantas flights. It's a little bit slow. But yeah, internet works fine through USB tethering from a different Android device. That is pretty good. So now we have internet access. I think we'll try and play a YouTube video. We'll have to use the Chrome browser. I don't have any YouTube apps installed. We'll disable mouse so we can use the D-pad. The on-screen keyboard's pretty easy to use with the D-pad anyway. So it loaded fairly quickly. We'll try one of my old videos. Whoops. The left joystick does seem to be page down. The D-pad does still go down quite slowly though, which is good. We'll try In the Dark. We've got ads. There doesn't seem to be any sound though. Okay. Go use the mouse cursor to go to skip ad, if I can. See if we can bring up stats for nerds. So we're on 360p. There is no stats for nerds option. There we go at the very bottom. Seems to be playing okay. We'll try go full screen. Very minimal drop frames. It does seem to be playing pretty much perfectly at 360p anyway. But again, no sound. That's a bit weird. I think we'll close out of this and try installing some apps from our flash drive. Let's press home. Before we do that though, you'll notice we do have Play Store installed. That is because we copied the Mind the Gaps files over earlier. So we'll try open that up. There we go, Play Store. Got the logo. And it just crashes back out of it. And yeah, keep stopping. Try it once more. No good. I might try different versions of Mind the Gaps in the future, just to see if that's the cause of the issue. I'll unplug my USB tethering from my phone, and we'll connect my flash drive. So it's connected. We still have the annoying pop-up. I'll just enable mouse. Go to it and click it. There we go. We'll just open up files. I'll enable mouse mode once more. Use the D-pad to go to the top left menu. There we go. Scroll down. And it's the Lexa USB drive. I might change it to list view. So the top right. There we go. Now I can use the D-pad to scroll. So it looks like the file browser is a little bit cut off. There's still two more items that it's not showing. It should be VLC Media Player and Temple Run. And if I press up once and again, it highlights SNES 9X, so it's definitely hiding two of them. This is most likely due to the very low screen resolution of the R36S. So I'll install a bunch of stuff, just highlighting it, pressing A. It just says you're on your own if you sideload stuff, so I'll just go continue and go across to install. Give it a second and it's installed. We won't open it yet, we'll go over to done. I'll install the rest of them and then we'll come back. So I've installed a bunch of apps, as you can see. There's quite a few on here. But one thing I just realized was I also have a USB Bluetooth adapter. So I thought before we try any apps, we'll see if we can get Bluetooth working on this. It's connecting the adapter. I have no idea what chipset the adapter uses, but we'll give it a crack anyway. So let's go down to settings, enable mouse. We want connected devices. So there's no Bluetooth toggle here. Here we go, see all. Should turn Bluetooth on. Nothing. I think we'll click on the top bar and it should bring up the settings. There we go, the shortcuts. Click on Bluetooth. You can see it trying. We press B to go back. Click on it again. Nah, it turned off. So it doesn't like our USB Bluetooth adapter either. It was a bit of a long shot, but I thought it was worth trying. Let's take a look at the apps we installed. We'll start with CPU-Z. We already know what hardware we're running, but it'll be interesting to see what it reports as. So it says it's built for an older version, but it should be fine. Click OK. There we go. So 4 cores, we knew that. 16% load, 27% load. That's not too bad for idle. It does go down to 6. So Android's not too heavy for this actually. It's pretty impressive. We'll go right to system, manufacturer game console, RK30 board. I'm guessing all this is done by the devs that ported this version of Android over. So 640 by 480, which we knew. We got 1 gig of RAM, and we only have 385 left, around 40%. So it does use around 600 meg of RAM just idling. That's it's a fair bit. It's a lot more than ArcOS uses. And 98% free storage. That's just our SD card. There is no internal flash on this R36S. Battery says it's good. I do have it plugged into a charger, just because I've been messing around for quite a while. It says 18.8 degrees. I'm not sure if that's accurate or if it's just a placeholder. It is quite cold in here though. No sensors and about. We'll close out of this, press home. We'll try 3D Mark. I don't think it's gonna run, but we'll give it a go. Can we go skip? There we go, skip it. It looks like it just crashed out. Oh no, it is in there, but it is sideways. Let's see if we can just choose one. So the D-pad is sideways as well. Pressing left and right is actually up and down. It's interesting. We'll try that one. Can't seem to actually run any tests. Unable to connect to the server. It's because we don't have internet. We'll close out of this. We'll try Antutu. So our screens come back normal. It's good. Go Antutu. I think we do need Wi-Fi to use both of these benchmarks anyway. And this sideways, go agree. Here we go. Agree and continue. It'll let me. That is as far as I can get, unfortunately. We'll see if we can go back to the home menu. It doesn't seem to be frozen. There we go. It actually just crashed. Go close that. So benchmark's no good. Try VLC, just to see if we do have sound, or if it was a Chrome issue. We'll go skip. Here we go. It does want permission. Turn on mouse. Go down to browse. Go to our flash drive at the top left. And disable mouse. Scroll down with the D-pad. Re-enable mouse. Alexa. That's just the flash drive we've connected. Go down. Again, it's still cut off at the bottom, but that's fine. H.264 1080p. This is Big Buck Bunny. Looks like it's doing something. There we go. Enable the mouse so I can close off video player tips. There we go. And it is playing. There's no sound. So the left joystick's brightness. If I use the volume buttons, you can see it is 200% now, and just no sound. But it does play back perfectly smooth, it looks like. Skipping works as well. It's a bit unfortunate there's no sound on this build for me, at least. Let me know if there's sound on your build. I'm assuming it does work for the devs' handhelds. Otherwise, they would have mentioned there's no sound. Not too sure what the issue is with that. We'll continue along with the rest of the test, just without sound though. Just press home to close out of it, or function. We won't bother with our music player since there is no sound. I think we'll try some native Android games. Plants vs Zombies 1. Got a black screen. Still got a black screen. And it crashed. Actually, it was Google Play Store that crashed. I'm guessing it's trying to use Google services. Now, that's a bit of a shame. What about Temple Run? It's gone to a black screen. Hopefully it is loading. And unfortunately, it also requires Google Play Store or Google services. And it says it crashed, but it's still loading in the background. What if I can just press B? Hey, it's still working. So it is rotated, that's fine. I think what I'll do is I'll rotate the handheld to make it a bit easier. Okay, so it looks a bit weird, but that's fine. Might turn on mouse. So the mouse controls are also sideways, as you can see. It does seem to be stuck on this screen. I can't get past it. I've got a black screen now. The mouse cursor is doing its own thing. That's not me moving it. And it crashed. So the two native Android games we tried didn't work. Most likely because it does require Google Play services. And now our launcher crashed. Hopefully it comes back. Nothing to resume. If I press home, does it reopen it? It does not. If I hold down power, do we get the power menu at least? Oh, there we go. It's launching again. I didn't reset it. I will press B to cancel out of the power menu. The launcher does keep crashing though. I might have to do a full reset. So I'll just hold down the power button again and I'll go across to reset. So I've rebooted it. We are back to the launcher. Seems to be okay now. Let's try PPSSPP, which was something I noticed a lot of people wanted to actually try when this build was announced. So we'll try that now. We'll go create, click OK. Go create new folder. I'll call it PSP. Nice and easy. Go next. Press start. Nope, might have to use the mouse to go across to OK. There we go. Enable mouse again. Go down to use this folder at the very bottom. And click allow. Turn mouse off. Use the D-pad. Press OK. Alright, we're in PPSSPP. Want to go to browse. Now, my games are on my flash drive. So I'll go to the top left once more using the mouse. Go down to Alexa. Turn the D-pad off. And I copied Mega Man Powered Up just to test. There we go. Go down to use this folder actually. Go to allow. Alright, there's Mega Man Powered Up. We'll load it, see if it works. Loaded really quick, almost instantly, that's a good sign. It does say running slow, try frame skip. We won't change anything just yet. We'll leave it all as stock. Hey, we've got our little intro video. It's fine. Everything seems full speed so far. Go new game. Doesn't seem to be lagging at all. Not too sure what that little pop-up was talking about. And we're in. Does seem perfectly fine. We do still get the occasional lag spike, but we got that on just about every other OS that we've tried on this R36S. So it might just be how the game runs, but yeah, seems full speed, no lag. Obviously heavier games might lag, but Mega Man Powered Up seems perfectly fine. L2 brings up the PPSSP menu, which is an interesting config. Let's go down to exit, and go down to exit again. You can obviously just press the home button as well. So if it can do PSP, it can obviously do lower end systems like Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced, and SNES. We'll try 64. This is M64 plus FZ. There we go. Use the mouse. Go down to plus to add ROMs, I believe. Oh, it crashed. If I can go wait. There we go. Go select file. Once again, it's on my flash drive. Let's go to the very top. And we'll try Goldeneye, something a bit more demanding. There it is. See if we can launch it. Still getting the annoying pop-ups. Close them off. There we go. I do regret installing Google Play services. We'll go start, disable mouse, so we go to D-pad mode. Google Play keeps stopping, that is super annoying. Press B maybe, here we go. And there's Goldeneye. Let's see how well it actually runs though. So far the logo seems fine. There's no sound, that's fine. Oh, it's a little bit laggy. Oh, there we go, it's much better. Go DAM, we'll go Agent just to keep it easy. Doesn't seem too bad so far. This is just the little cutscene. Oh, it's actually a little bit slow. Oh, it's pretty slow. Yeah, no, it's way too slow. Not sure which button is shoot. There we go. Yeah, so Goldeneye 64 is still too slow on this. I'm sure lighter games like Mario Kart will run fine, but they run fine on regular ArcOS anyway. This was one of the ones I was looking forward to testing. You can see the how choppy it is. I think we'll wrap it up there for today. Overall, I'm extremely impressed that they were able to get Android running on this R36S. It did only come out around 6 hours ago at the time of filming, so it's very, very early days. But first impressions, it actually runs really well. I wasn't able to get Google Play Store working, and if anything, installing it seemed to make it a lot less stable, so I would recommend skipping that step, at least for now. If you've tried this yourself and you know how to get Play Store working, please do let me know, and I'll definitely include it in a future video. Emulation was pretty much the same as it was on ArcOS or Rocknix. There wasn't any major speed increases there. I wasn't expecting there to be. I have had a pretty good experience with 64 emulation on Android before, so I was sort of hoping to get higher end, more demanding games like Goldeneye or Conker's Bad Fur Day running, but they still ran ultra slow. I guess that is just the limitation of this cheap chipset. Wasn't able to get Wi-Fi or Bluetooth working using any of my adapters. I'm sure adapters do exist that will work on this, so I might keep looking online and ordering a few more cheap ones. USB tethering from my Android phone did work though, and it was a super easy way to get internet access on this. YouTube playback was pretty good, although we had no sound. I'm sure that is just a quirk with my handheld itself, since I haven't seen this issue mentioned anywhere else online. As mentioned, it currently only works on Panel 4 devices. Panel 4 does seem to be the most common R36S variant, and as far as I know, all R36H handhelds use Panel 4, so it should just work on them out of the box. I definitely want to make a follow-up video trying some other stuff on here, so if there's anything you want to see me try running, please do let me know in the comments, and I'll try my best to include it in the next video. Just try to keep recommendations realistic. I don't think super demanding games like Genshin Impact is going to work on this, so it's probably not even worth trying. I also don't think 3DS or PS2 emulation will work, but we might try that in a future video. If you have a spare SD card floating around, along with a Panel 4 device, I think this is worth checking out, but it's definitely not ready to be used as a daily driver just yet. I think that'll do it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.